dem Weg zu einem faireren Geldsystem.
It appears absurd. On the one hand, the world is flooded with cheap money, but at the same time, some places have none. The places that don't offer big profits right away, but that in the long term would benefit the future of our society. We're at the Impact Hub in Munich, an office space for startups, a space for companies that have innovative ideas for the future, new technologies, sustainable solutions for our problems. But there's no money here. Laurin Hahn and his team are working on a car for the future, for example. Their baby goes by the name Xeon, a small electric car that generates some of its own electricity. The city runaround is designed to access electricity from the well-protected solar cells on the car body. It will also source electricity from a battery. It's an inexpensive and highly eco-friendly electric car. Developing the Xeon costs money, and no bank wants to stump up this money, says Laurin Hahn. Startups like his don't stand a chance of getting a loan from a bank, even though there's more than enough money available.
Banks are out of the question. We're too risky. Banks prefer to invest in infrastructure or the like, something that's long-term and safe, where the loan is secured. If our company goes bankrupt, they have virtually nothing they could recoup.
Laurin Hahn had to collect money from private donors online, venture capital. No loans for their projects. That's the central issue for young entrepreneurs. They can't get their hands on any of this cheap money.
At the end of the day, it's not about money, but about creating opportunities so that people who want to do something can do something.
If you don't invest in that, or the startups can't access money easily and can't develop easily, then they'll move country.
There are lots of entrepreneurs here who want to push forward sustainable products and services, products where the consequences for people and the environment are taken into account from the word go, products designed to create value for society. I think it's a scandal that companies like this struggle so much to access funding from banks or major investors.
Karl-Heinz Eich in Bad Bodendorf invests in the traditional fashion. He's received the money from his insurance policy, and he's made a decision. He's looking at his house with a painter and decorator. He wants to invest some of the money in renovations. A fixed asset investment, a strategy to circumvent the low interest rates. Karl-Heinz Eich has realized in recent months how important it is to pay attention to money matters. The times when we could hand over our responsibility at the cashier's desk are over. Maybe he'll be fortunate, but one thing is certain: the sick financial system is going to cost us a lot of money.
I don't think anyone will come out of this situation unscathed. We've been living on loans. There will be wealth destruction. The current financial system is very likely to lead to the next disaster. We need a different system. But it would be enough if we just returned to what we had: highly regulated financial markets and a banking sector under control and whose purpose was to serve.
We have to rein in the world's financial system, but exactly the opposite is happening in the United States under Donald Trump. To make the system safer for people, a system like that envisaged by the Swiss initiative could be one building block. In particular, states have to reduce their massive debts. It's the only way we can curb this deluge of money and break through the spiral of loans. That's also why we need international debt conferences, where states mutually waive their debts. It's us, the people, who foot the bill. Big banks must cover their loans with more of their own capital than they do today. There needs to be a global tax on financial transactions, and money needs to go to places where it benefits society for our future's sake. The interests of the financial industry have determined developments in politics and society for far too long. Trump and Brexit mustn't be allowed to fuel that even further. Money is far too important to be left to the banks alone.